Hello and welcome to TAPI's Women in Industry Annual Meeting. I'm Lisa Lockwood from TAPI and I support the Women in Industry Division. This meeting will be held in accordance with TAPI's antitrust policy, which states TAPI's aim is to promote research and education and to arrange for the collection, dissemination, and interchange of technical concepts and information in fields of interest to its members. TAPI is not intended to and may not play any role in the competitive decisions of its members or their employers, or in any way restrict competition among companies. Please keep your camera off and your microphone muted until the end of the meeting when there will be time for Q&A. During the meeting, you may enter questions into the Zoom chat feature. They will be answered during the Q&A at the end. If you are attending the Women's Summit today, you can stay in this Zoom session during the 30-minute break after this meeting ends.
Hello. I'm Heather Jennings, Chair of the Women in Industry Division of TAPI. I'm calling this annual meeting to order. Lisa, would you please do the roll call of the executive committee members?
Yes, Heather. In today's meeting, we have Heather Jennings, Chair, Maya Mesner, Vice Chair, Sarah Dawkins, Second Vice Chair, Pamela Cowan, Chair Emeritus, Paula Hajakian, Benchmarking Chair, Jennifer Piercy, Celebrating Women Leaders Chair, Riel Walker, Celebrating Women Leaders Vice Chair, Rosie Covarrubias, Solutions and Strategies for Career Development and Engagement Chair, Heather Starkey, Solution and Strategies Vice Chair, myself, Lisa Lockwood, recording minutes. And then we have our special guests representing the membership of the Women in Industry Division, and hopefully some soon-to-be new members of the Women in Industry Division.
Thank you, Lisa. Today's annual meeting agenda is displayed on the screen. Executive committee members, does anyone have anything to add? If not, may I have a motion to accept the agenda?
I move to accept the agenda as written.
This is Paula, a second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Perfect. The agenda is accepted as written. Okay, let's get started. So welcome to the Women in Industry Division members and guests. It's hard to believe that this will be my last WIN executive meeting. The last 2 years have been a blur, but how our division has grown. 2 years ago, we held our annual meeting at PaperCon in Indianapolis. Later that week, we hosted 50 attendees for the second annual Women's Summit. Then last year, COVID hit and we were all forced to pivot to a new way of meeting. In response, the Women's Summit went virtual last June. We partnered with Dr. Brenda Morant in the International Women's Think Tank and experienced a keynote from Dr. Mary Lou Frank titled Keys to Effective Self-Awareness for Women During a Crisis. The keynote was followed by breakout room sessions titled Self-Advocacy, Make Yourself and Your Presence Felt and Your Voice Heard. More than 200 attendees came together to learn, laugh, share, and support each other. When it came time to plan for this year's Women's Summit, the executive committee decided to stay virtual for another year, giving more women and men the opportunity to experience the camaraderie and engagement that is unique to the summit. Following today's annual meeting, we will be welcoming 400 attendees from 23 countries. It is so exciting to see the growth and participation in this division in our events. Of course, we're also more than events. During this meeting, you'll hear updates from our committee chairs on what they've been working on and what is planned for the upcoming year. The best part about the WIN division is how easy it is to become involved with these amazing, hardworking people. To join a WIN committee, you only need to be a TAPI member and express your interest. The easiest way is to email Lisa Lockwood at lockwood, LOCKWOOD, @tapi.org. She will put you in touch with the committee chair to begin your volunteer journey. I sincerely hope that you consider being part of this division. It's been a life-changing experience for me and for so many others. Okay, for the next segment of our meeting, we'll hear from the WIN committee chairs and representatives. First on the agenda is the benchmarking committee chaired by Paula Hajikian.
Thank you, Heather. I'm very proud of the work that we do on the benchmarking committee, as this gives us an idea of where we are and where we are in our goals. We have committees: Sage, Dugay, Cynthia Garland, Mary Combolius, and Cecilia McGuff. We'd also like to thank the people and organizations that have helped us gather the information, including Papira, Fisher International, Jennifer Piercy at NC State for corralling cats, Lisa Lockwood, and Laura Madeline Smith. One of the metrics we've been keeping from the beginning is, where does our membership stand? How many members do we have? And we take that benchmark around the normal PaperCon time of the year, which is about May of every year. And we started, as you can see, in 2015 with a very small group of women who had a vision. Our committee has grown. We know it was hit hard by COVID and our inability to get together last year, but we're as strong as ever with over 500 division members. The other metric that we have is related to touch points by year. This is how many events and networking and committee meetings and so forth that we hold during the year. As a full division, we started to meet until we grew and split off into committees. And you could see by the green bar that is the most touch points per year. If you are involved in a committee, you have the most involvement and the most communication with the division. External events, again, kind of took a hit in 2020 when we didn't have as many opportunities with COVID. Next slide, please. The other metric is the 2018 was the inaugural year for the Women's Summit. And 2019 was also an in-person event. In 2020, we were resilient. As you'll see, one of our focuses in our communication this year. And we had over 200 attendees. And I think I heard we were just over 400 registrants for the summit for this year. At the time of this creation of this slide, we had over 300. So great involvement, great activity, and great content. And we will continue to track the summit year over year. Next slide, I'll pass it off to Cecilia.
Hello, everybody. What I'm going to do is get a little bit further down into the demographics of the Women in Industry division. We are a young group with over 75% having less than 5 years in membership in TAPI. Of our 509 members as of May, we have 230 of them under the age of 35. What we do have, though, is we do have a lot of experience. We have over 10% of our Women in Industry division members having over 10 years, bringing a lot of experience to the table. Next slide, please. So how do we look as respect to TAPI memberships? In 2017, women were 13.7% of the members. Now we're up 18.8% of the members are women. With, as I just said in the last slide, as of May, we're at 509 members. So we've grown a lot in this last 7 years as a division. And we still have 4.2% male membership in the Women in Industry division. I'm going to pass it off to Mary.
Thank you, Cecilia. Right now, we're just looking at some results of a survey conducted by PAPERA, which is the Pulp and Paper Education Research Alliance. And they recently queried 7 member schools about their graduating classes over the past several years. And as we can see, most paper programs are still majority male. However, it is encouraging to see that within the last 2 graduating classes that we have data for, female graduates have increased. If we move on to the next slide, we'll see where exactly paper students go with their education upon graduation. And pretty much the ratios per area, whether that's with mills, suppliers, or other industries such as graduate school or the government, these ratios are between men and women are pretty consistent with the ratios within the class enrollments that we saw earlier. However, for women, there's certainly the most popular choice after graduation, as we see on the pie chart on the right, happens to be mills, followed by suppliers, and finally by other routes such as graduate school. And now I'd like to hand this over to Sage.
Thank you, Mary. The information here was prepared by Fisher International. We are a management consulting firm for the pulp and paper industry. The data that you'll see was prepared using the Fisher SolveNext business intelligence platform. And for context, this platform contains information on pulp and paper mills that produce more than 50 tons per day globally. So we keep a personnel database as well. And the type of personnel information that we track are typically at the mid-management level and above. So for this analysis, the entire data set was 26,240 individuals that are in our records. And of that number, 22,241 individuals were women, which accounts for 8.5% of the total. If we look at this on a regional level, we can see that Europe as a region has the highest percentage of women, followed by Latin America and North America. If we then look at the global distribution of women in the pulp and paper industry, Europe not only has the highest ratio, but they also have the highest count of women in their industry. The next highest is North America, a little over 500, followed by Latin America as well. To get even more granular, if we then look at the breakdown by country, the United States is the large outlier with just around 450, followed by Brazil and then Russia. To understand where these women in these producer organizations work, we can look at this in a little more detail. So 76% of these women have positions in pulp and paper mills, with 19% having positions in executive offices. So these include positions like senior leadership positions. If we look at this by region, we can see that Europe has the highest ratio of women in executive offices. That's around 14%, which is then followed by Latin America, around 13%. The benchmarking committee is looking for new members interested in helping tracking and reporting the growth of women in TAPI and in the industry. And this concludes the benchmarking report for the 2020-2021 year.
Thank you so much, Benchmarking Committee. Next, we will have the report from the Celebrating Women's Leaders Committee, chaired by Jennifer Piercy, with Rielle Walker as Vice Chair.
Thank you, Heather. I am honored to be able to present on behalf of this amazing committee. So the Celebrating Women Leaders Committee purpose is to identify and honor outstanding women in the forest products, pulp, paper, tissue, packaging, and associated industries. This committee oversees the selection process for the Woman of the Year Award and selects industry exemplars for spotlights in a variety of TAPI publications. So I would like to thank everyone on this committee. It is a very collaborative group and very team-oriented. Everyone really goes above and beyond to participate and add value. So one of our main tasks is to help with the Woman of the Year award. So we solicit nominations in the fall and help to review the nominations and put them forward to the division. This award recognizes women who have demonstrated excellence in leading, motivating, and developing others. This is an individual that's had an impact on those around her and motivated and developed others as well. Some past honorees are listed here. This award has been enacted since 2017. And some other efforts that we are working on. So this past year, we revised our Women of the Year Award nomination to include a contributions to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We also have taken this a nomination form online, which has been very helpful to have multiple people be able to collaborate on a singular nomination. We've been able to increase our committee membership, and we currently have 15 member spotlights on the TAPI member spotlight portal. We are also developing a strategic plan for increased visibility and celebration of the women in our industry using a variety of methods that TAPI already has, social media and other online and print publications. These are just two examples of some of the spotlights that you can find on TAPI's website. And we are also looking forward to potentially hosting a virtual panel this fall of some of our past award winners and nominees, targeted specifically at our young professionals and students, but we also welcome anyone who is interested. We are always welcoming new members to our committee, and we are appreciative for those who have contributed so much this past year. And this concludes the Celebrating Women Leaders report for 2020-2021.
Thank you, Celebrating Women Leaders Committee. Next will be the report from the Outreach Committee, recently chaired by me, followed by a report from the Subcommittee for Outreach to the Girl Scouts, chaired by Beth Cormier. Today's report will be given by Sarah Dawkins, as Beth could not join us. Okay, so this last year we focused on university tapping and student chapters, doing virtual and site visits pre-pandemic, obviously, and then virtual afterwards, and just connecting with those student chapters, helping them know that TAPI is here and that there's divisions and groups that are interested in them and wanting their participation. Next slide.
Hello, so my name is Sarah Dawkins, and I'm going to present this portion for Beth. She could not be with us today. So one of the subcommittees of the Outreach Committee is the Girl Scout Expo STEM experience. And we've got a lot of great members. You can read that on the slide. And really the objective of this group is to introduce young women to our industry and different exciting STEM career choices that they may not otherwise have had the exposure to. If you can go to the next slide. So we, like the Women in Industry division in general, we're moving from the in-person expos to a more virtual platform based on everything that went on with COVID. So pre-COVID, we had several in-person experiences for different Girl Scout troops around the country. And it was really exciting and a fun time for the girls to do these different activities surrounding the pulp and paper industry in general. So what we've been working on moving into this virtual platform is sort of a self-guided scavenger hunt where the girls can experience different topics around paper science and the industry. So it's really exciting. This was part of the brainstorming. This is not, the final product, but what we had thought was all these different touch points of the industry from the forest to your home. And the girls will have different activities based on each of these different parts of the process, and we're hoping to have the content available in the fall. And this concludes the Girl Scout Outreach Subcommittee report for 2020-2021. Thank you.
Thank you to the Outreach Committee. We will next have the report from the Program Committee chaired by Maya Mesner, Sarah Dawkins as Vice Chair.
Thank you, Heather. So let's sum up all the activities because we are all connected. So here you see the committee members on the screen. So let me jump to the past events and also our plans for this year. So as Heather explained at the very beginning, we of course hit the pandemic time, so we had to cope with that somehow, but we didn't give up. So first of all, last year we organized a virtual Women Summit that Heather presented with a very nice participation and lots of energy in it. We followed the summit with the event called Women in Industry Virtual Cafe, which was held in December, that we wanted to build a platform for communication for people to talk about the current threats and current fears, and also some ideas for the future, for the new future, let's say. And if we move further, Lisa, please. Then this year in May, TAPI Virtual come up with the resilience led by Paula, very well attended session, lots of good ideas. We are going to continue this in October. And today we're holding this annual meeting followed by the 4th annual Virtual Women's Summit. Amazing for events, and time flies quickly and we're more excited. So make sure to join us right after the session. What's on? Of course, we are planning many of the events. One of them is coming in August, which is not presented here. Supercore Expo in August with a WIN breakfast, but also what is already confirmed. We are planning to finally meet face to face during TAPICon Live in Atlanta in October. And as you see, of course, panel discussion led by Paula, again, resilience and hot topic breakfast. Also our interaction during the lunch and definitely more discussions together. So more to come, like webinars and so on, but just stay tuned and make sure you join us. So I think it's just that concludes, let's say, the report from the program committee for 2020 and 2021. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Program Committee. The final committee report is from the Solutions and Strategies for Career Development and Engagement Committee, and this is chaired by Rosie Covarrubias, Heather Starkey as Vice Chair. Heather will be reporting today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to talk to you about the work we've been doing as the Solutions and Strategies Committee. As you can see, we are a much smaller committee than everyone else. So if you find anything that we are talking about interesting, Rosie, myself, and Paula would love to have you join us. So please reach out. Next slide, please, Lisa. Thank you. Okay, so we have two main goals. The first of which is to develop educational opportunities for women across the industry. Primarily, we are trying to focus on personal development, and we use a variety of tools in order to put this information in front of you all. A new initiative we are undertaking is to partner with other committees across TAPI to host technical information sessions which highlight women who are subject matter experts in their particular area. Next slide, thank you. Our second goal is to inspire each other by sharing success stories of women across our industry. And so in conjunction with our education goal, we're trying to highlight women who are the subject matter experts in their roles, so we can get that exposure to both their technical knowledge and be able to host an ongoing series of spotlights to share their personal experiences as well. Next slide, please. So the 2021 to 2022 year, that's a mouthful, we are focused on reviving our team. So we're primarily focused on getting new members to come in and help us develop these tools and these spotlights that we want to put out for you guys. So if, like I said, if any of this appeals to you, please let me know or reach out to someone else on the executive committee and we will get you plugged in. Event-wise for this coming year, we are in the process of putting together 2 events for you guys. One is a picture of scientists, and that's going to be focused on diversity and inclusion and highlighting women experiences in scientific areas, as well as empowering yourself through leadership to make the most out of your career. So keep an eye out for more information to come on that. And the last thing on the horizon is trying to develop some discussion groups through Tabby Connect to help keep the conversations going after these events. That way we can connect with each other year round and have a continuing discussion. Next slide, please, Lisa. Okay. So last thing before I hand the meeting back to Heather, we have 2 different types of volunteer opportunities that we're making available to you all within the committee. So the first opportunity is to be a full-fledged committee member. You would attend all of the meetings. You would volunteer to help take on assignments. You would help us plan our Women's Summit each year and have specific projects. But the other opportunity is if there's just one event or one particular thing you would like to help us with, but you aren't able to or ready to commit to being a full committee member. So we want to leverage all of the knowledge you guys have and these events. So like a good example of being an ad hoc volunteer would be if you know someone who would be great for one of our spotlights on their subject matter expertise and their story as a woman in the industry, you can help work with us to create that webinar event to highlight them. So with that, this concludes the Solutions and Strategies for Career Development and Engagement Committee report for 2020 through 2021.
Thank you, Heather. As you can see, the Women in Industry Division committees are very busy planning for an exciting upcoming year. All committees are looking for interested volunteers. Next on the agenda, we're going to take a moment to honor someone very special. As a volunteer group, it's important for us to recognize those who put all of their effort and work into supporting others and doing the same and pave the way for future leaders. Let's watch the awarding of the Women in Industry Division's Woman of the Year Award.
I'm excited to be here today on behalf of the Women in Industry Division of TAPI. My name is Jennifer Piercy, and as the chair of the Celebrating Women Leaders Committee, it is my honor to be joined by Larry Montague, the president and CEO of TAPI, and a very special guest. Today, we are presenting the Women in Industry Division's Woman of the Year Award. Since 2017, the Woman of the Year Award recognizes women who have demonstrated excellence in leading, motivating, and developing others within the pulp, paper, tissue, packaging, and related industries. This year's award winner has motivated, developed, and impacted others around her. Her dedication and commitment to the industry has set a high bar for us all to follow. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Larry Montague, President and CEO of TAPI, to present the 2021 Woman of the Year Award.
Thank you, Jennifer. It is my distinct honor to announce Paula Hajakian as the 2021 Woman of the Year Award winner. Paula was nominated for this award by Dale Midyat of Jacobs Engineering. Paula is Principal Technical Specialist at USG, where she has spent the last 16 years supporting the gypsum board plants and is responsible for new product development and rollout, new technology development, plant technical support, project management, and training. Paula is an avid volunteer with several TAPI committees. Currently, she is the chair of the Paper and Board Division, chair emeritus of the Papermaking Technology and Operations Committee, chair of the Forming and Pressing TIPS Subcommittee, and chair of the Women in Industries Benchmarking Committee. Now that's what I call a super volunteer. It is quite an honor to be inducted as a TAPI Fellow. In 2019, Paula joined this illustrious group of professionals who have served and made substantial contributions to our industry. Her involvement in TAPI and the industry began as Vice President of the TAPI Student Chapter at the University of Massachusetts, Lowell. Paula holds a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering from UMass Lowell and has authored or co-authored 9 patents. She is a great leader and an inspiration to all who work and volunteer with her. Congratulations, Paula.
Thank you so much, Larry. Friends and colleagues, I am delighted and honored to accept the Women of the Year award sponsored by the Women in Industry Division. I was pleasantly surprised when I learned about receiving this award during a Papermaking Technology and Operations Committee meeting. I have great appreciation, gratitude, and respect for this award. Thank you to Jennifer Piercy and the Celebrating Women Leaders Committee. We have some pretty impressive women in the paper industry, and I am humbled to receive this honor and to be in such great company with the previous award recipients. I'd like to thank my daughter, who patiently spent many weekends over the years in paper mill conference rooms when I was on call. Thank you to my husband, who always supports me in my travels and endeavors. I'd like to thank United States Gypsum Company for supporting my training and involvement with TAPI, and for giving me the opportunity to serve on committees, support technical information papers, and serve as Paper and Board Division Chair. Thank you to my family, TAPI family of mentors, friends, and colleagues from whom I have learned so much. When I started as a new committee officer, I received guidance and support from so many others on the committee. What we do and continue to do is a team effort, which I strongly believe is critical to the advancement of the paper industry. The opportunities offered by TAPI have helped me advance in my career. I encourage others to step up and take advantage of these same opportunities to help them advance in their careers. Diversity is critical to our success. As I look at the organization today, I see so many more women than I have in years past. Everyone's contributions are welcome and needed to continue to increase the breadth and the depth of training available. Participating in networking events helps us understand that we are not alone in our challenges and provides us resources for our success. Please consider who you might nominate for future awards. Please take time to recognize the people in your organization that help do so much to make your organization successful. Thank you for this honor. I look forward to seeing everyone in person at TAPICon live in October.
As I mentioned earlier, we wanted to just honor and appreciate Paula and all of her contributions, and it is a well-deserved award. As I mentioned earlier, this is my final meeting as the chair of the Women in Industry Division. For the next 2 years, I will fill the role of Chair Emeritus as well as chairing the Outreach Committee. I'm pleased to be passing the gavel over to Maya Mesner. Maya has worked tirelessly for the last 6 years. She was at the first meeting and has been supporting the growth of the division and will be a great chair. She will be aided in her task by Sarah Dawkins as incoming Vice Chair and Chair Program Committee. In addition, Rosie Covarrubias will be succeeded by Heather Starkey as the Chair of the Solutions and Strategies for Career Development and Engagement Committee. With that, I'd like to officially pass the chair and the gavel to Maya.
Well, thank you very much, Heather. Thank you for your leadership, for all the discussions, all those talks, and to move things forward together. So that was a real pleasure, and we hope to keep you with us for a longer time. But I'm very grateful for this, and I'm accepting that honor with a great pleasure. But just talking about our plans, just a few ideas that you can think of. First of all, we would like to, together with a great team, to continue the successful journey of empowering women to become strong leaders. As you see, there is a progress, but there's still a lot to do, so women are more visible in this industry. We want to make our industry a more diverse place and stronger than others with our presence as female. Definitely we need more volunteers. So there's so many things you can pick from that you've heard today. We need to grow successors. It's that we need people who just continue that it won't be forgotten. Definitely we would like to also improve and develop community communication channels, as we see this pandemic time taught us how to do it better. So definitely face-to-face meetings, but also virtual meetings. We would like to use the potential of TAPI Connect, our online community. We would like to be more active in this TAPI Mentor Match program, so more of us can interact and learn from each other. This TAPI social media, that's also available, and you can take the advantage from this. And I've just decided also to launch a personal Instagram, which is NemLaunch, that I would like to also share some thoughts to empower others. But our key points would be interaction, empowerment, volunteering, networking, inspiration, inclusion, fun, and discovery. So let me tell you what you can take out of that. So you might probably think, what can I get from that? It's volunteering, I need to share my time. But first of all, you may really create the reality. You can start new programs, develop ideas. You can actively support other women in their career development. And also it's something for you. You can learn from them. You can meet many inspiring people. Paula just presented in her summary that it's about meeting people. It's about developing the relationship, and you can learn more. Definitely knowledge. You can discover your own talents. Through working together, it's really something surprising to you to say, all right, here I'm good at, and I can utilize it for my work. We build things together. It's a true teamwork and team spirit. And I would repeat it once again, we would like to make this industry a better place. And we would like to be example for others, that we can do it and others can do it. We can do it together. What else, if I can add? So how do we understand those, let's say, hashtags, empowerment? So it's about being a true example, so other people see you and follow you and want to be connected, want to be together. To be a volunteer, you might really have something special. It's not the money coming this, but the satisfaction and the smile of somebody or helping others. Fantastic, wonderful way to network. I'm from Poland, by the way, and I'm there, even I'm here in Poland, we can interact, we are together. Inspiration, tons of inspiration every time. Support, you know, there's so many experts in that group that you can always come to somebody and ask for the advice and ask for help and opinion. Inclusion, something we really need. We would like to be visible. We would like to be a part of this industry because we are this industry. Fun, definitely, lots of fun, lots of positive energy. It's not only work, it's more than that, and you can really be proud of yourself in this. And discovery of those talents that you have and other people have, and you can really take something from this. All right, thanks. If we now, it's a good timing to really sum up, and we are ready for questions. So feel free to submit your questions through the Zoom chat or to raise your hand so we can discuss a bit. So maybe there's some questions to come. Go ahead, please.
Maya, I'm not seeing any questions come through.
All right. So
if you want to mention how to get involved again, that would be great.
Yes. Let's do so. So, you know, I think that all of those committees, my colleagues already mentioned that we cannot do it alone, right? It's not like a one women show, let's say. We need people for that together. So as it was already mentioned, so how can you really start working with us? So first of all, you can enter the website, TAPI's website, to read more about committees or to utilize this material that we presented today. You can email Lisa and just ask about the positions and so on. If you already know which committee you are interested in, you can directly be in touch with a person who presented today to ask questions and, what can you do? And also, before you start, there's always a way of flexibility. So we meet like, let's say twice a month to talk about things, to build things together. But if you can share some of your time, it's also helpful. It doesn't mean that you need to spend like tons of hours on this. Just share as much as you can to really build this community stronger. What else we can add? I think if there will be any more questions, any specific or some suggestions that you might have, it's also a value for us to hear from our other colleagues in the industry. Maybe now there are some questions.
Yeah, Maya, we have one that says, what is planned for SuperCore? And I can talk to that just real quick.
Please, go ahead.
So with programming, we are slowly adding on new events and new locations and things. One of them is the SuperCore Expo. We'll be having a Women in Industry breakfast with a fabulous guest speaker. And we're also looking at participating in peers later on this year as well, and having a breakfast and joining with the young professionals for that event. So that's two additional messages we've got. Any other questions?
Okay, there are no questions. I think we can move further. There's an event coming up soon, so I think that people can have a break. So we would like to thank you again for attending our Women in the Industry annual meeting. We hope to see many of you in the committee meetings in the near future. So if you are planning to attend Women's Summit, you can stay logged into this Zoom meeting. The Women's Summit will begin at noon Eastern time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Maya. Greatly appreciate it, all that you do for us and what you will be doing. And we'd like to now officially adjourn this meeting. Enjoy the Women's Summit and the remainder of your day.